What are we up to, everybody? I'm off of work early today because I was starting to feel a little sick, and I told my supervisors and my boss about it, and they told me to go home early, and they'll have human resources contact me back, so I got time to do a video. Don't worry about me. I got money saved up. I got other ways of making money, and we're gonna have to see what happens. But anyways, I want to do a video, kind of a part two of a video I made last year called "Wimping Men Nowadays," and this is relating to the little MGTOW topic right here. And I can understand more so why I'm a loner. I don't hang out with no one. I don't hang out with most guys around my age. And if I do hang around guys, I typically get along with older men. You know, my landlord here, 72-year-old, and he's been around, he's seen some things. He's told me all these stories. And I work out with guys at the gym who are in their 60s, 70s, former Marines. And I seem to get along more so with masculine men. Men who actually have a backbone. They're responsible. They take care of themselves and their lives. They don't take any shit from anybody. They're not followers. They are real fucking men. But now I don't see very many real men around my age. I don't have any water in here. Let's go ahead and do this real quick. I got myself a little pipe. A little bit of cushion in the middle, just to go ahead and add a little bit of spice to the video. But anyways, what I see mostly nowadays with a lot of guys, especially around my age, are the soy boys, the Manginas, the simps, pussies, fags, whatever you want to call it. It just seems to me that the vast majority of men nowadays are just such wimps. You know, I see this all the time. When you are watching a couple, a man and a woman, and the woman is the one that's walking in front of the man, or the woman is the one that's driving the car, or even blatantly, you hear guys say, "Oh, my girlfriend's the boss, my wife's the boss, or she's the boss." You know what kind of guy you're dealing with. I remember this one dude at work, I'm not going to say his name, but he's been with his girl for 10 years. You know, they're about to get married. And I remember he's not a real dude anyways, but I remember one time I was playing music while closing down at the Red Lobster where I work at. At nighttime, when we go ahead and we close things down, I like to play music on my speaker, and I play it loud. I play a lot of my old school hip hop. And I remember I was playing this one song called International Players Anthem by UGK featuring Outkast. And it's a song that's a tribute to guys who are players and pimps all around the world. And this guy who was about to get married, and he said, "Oh, this is my girlfriend's favorite song." And I made a joke with him saying, "You actually put your girlfriend out on the track, like the host role?" I was fucking around with him, and he said, "No, I don't do that. She's the one that would do that to me." And I told him straight up, "Don't be a bitch, man." You know, I should have told him. I'll tell him what I'm going to tell you at the end of this video. But what I'm coming to understand is that men are becoming the new women. And women are starting to become like men. The tendencies, the behaviors, the capabilities of men and women now are changing. And it's changing, in my opinion, for the worst. We have a lot of these grown, wimpy, soft, Manginas, soy boys, guys who were mostly, I can imagine that most of these guys were raised by single moms and video games. I remember I was watching this podcast of The Roommates, which is a great YouTube channel for you guys to watch, especially if you want to learn more about manhood, masculinity, personal responsibility, and all that. And they were talking with this one man who was expert on men and how men have evolved. And they talked about how men have become so weak. And I'll put a link to the video in the comments, maybe in the description. But they talked about how over the years, men have been taught to be more soft and sensitive, emotional, and women are taught to be more, you need to be strong, you need to be independent, you don't need a man, blah, blah, blah. And look where we got now. Our society is becoming very soft and weak, and I think one of the main reasons why is because we have a lot of soft and weak men. And that's not good. Because you can say whatever you want to say. But if it wasn't for men, we would not have the world that we are in today. All right? Men are the ones that have built this world. Men are the ones who build the roads, made your home, build the cities. Men are the ones that have electricity and plumbing in your house, fix your car, make your car. Yeah, men have done horrible things in the world, but that's just part of human nature. Human beings in general can be horrible too, both men and women. But you gotta understand that if it's not for strong, leading, dominating, I'm not afraid of nothing men, we would not be in the world that we're in today. Like this one guy, I love watching his videos on YouTube. He said that a lot of some of the biggest and most innovative industrialists and businessmen were hard, ruthless motherfuckers. He said Andrew Carnegie was a hard bastard. John D. Rockefeller was a hard bastard. Steve Jobs was a super hard bastard. He even said that. And he met Steve Jobs. And all these guys have in common is that they are ruthless. Not ruthless as they want to kill a lot of people, but they're ruthless at achieving great things in life and changing the world. But now we want to be, we got to be sensitive to other people's feelings and PC. It's like, sensitivity doesn't get things done. It doesn't help. Yeah, it helps out with certain things. But in the real world, look, if things got to get done and we have to see the truth about how things are, we can't be fucking sensitive. Our society has become so weak. Very soft and weak. People don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hear a bunch of lies that will make them feel better because they're too weak-minded and cowardly to hear the truth. And the truth is that I think I know why a lot of these young boys and these guys do not have any backbone, why they're not real men. It's because of women. You say you want guys to be all soft and touchy-feely and whatever, be all about their feelings. Well, this is what you get. And then you want to complain about it, say, oh, he doesn't get things done. He's too much of a weenie, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is what you wanted. And this is how you raised them to be. Because a lot of these young wimpy guys were raised by single moms. And become very soft and feminine. I see with these young guys at work, I don't see very many real men. Maybe some of the managers and the higher ups are in their 40s and 50s. But a lot of these young kids, these young guys now, they're just grown little boys. Seriously, just grown little wimpy boys. that were raised by single moms and video games. And I remember this one girl. I was talking with her. She was a young chick, and she was a mom around her 20s. And I was talking with her at work, and I said, there's not very many real men nowadays because a lot of them were raised by single moms and video games. And she says, well, this is what happens when the men leave. And I just say, well, you're the one that chose to be with this guy. It's like, well, we didn't know, I think. Don't blame us for your mistakes, ladies. One of the things I come to notice is that you like to go ahead and not take responsibility for your mistakes in life, and you want to blame everything on men. Like this whole thing about women saying, where's not the real man? Well, there aren't any real men around, hardly, because you made them become soft. You're responsible for making them become soft and weak. Because you say, well, we don't need a man. We don't need a man to raise our children. And then you raise these boys to become soft little pussies. That's why you don't see hardly any real men. Because they're pussified by women. By a culture that only believes in sensitivity, make everyone happy. This world is all gumdrops and rainbows and unicorns. I say, fuck all that shit, man. Fuck all that shit. Look around. The world can be a horrible place. You can go through horrible things in your life. You can't expect it to be all gumdrops and rainbows and unicorns, okay? That's why we as strong men are so hard, because we have to handle all the harshness of the world and how it is. And I'm willing to take that responsibility. I've gone through quite a bit of harshness myself within the past few years. Okay? You see all this? Steel, stainless steel. Stainless steel. This is silver. Why? Because I believe in that I'm made of steel. I'm a strong man. I'm going to go ahead and live my life the way I want to live it, to the best of my ability. And I'm willing to take on any challenge I see to better myself. As they said before, hard times produce better men, and the hottest fire creates the strongest steel. This right here symbolizes silver, the underdog. Gold is considered to be at the top. Silver is at the close to the top, so it's the underdog in a way. And like Eminem said, have an underdog mentality. That means that you're someone that's constantly proving himself and is always hungry. But I'm not proving myself to no one except for me and being the best man that I can be. And it's just frustrating that I don't see a lot of guys like this nowadays. I just feel as though being a real man and being a guy who has a backbone and who's masculine is just dying off. It's a dying species that's almost practically extinct. And I'm afraid about how the world is going to be if it keeps going off in this direction. I can imagine in the future, guys are going to look like fucking women. I can imagine that everyone's going to be wearing dresses. I mean, of course, there's drag queens. I mean, that's a different story. But even like guys who say they like women dressing like women. And it's happening a bit now, but I can imagine that going on in the future. I think, fuck all that. I'm not going to dress like no fucking woman. I don't care if every single man in the world dresses like a woman. I'm not dressing like a woman. No. I don't care to conform to this overly feminized and sensitive society. I may live in it, but I'm not going to apply that to my personal life. Fuck all that shit. You know? And then people want to complain about, the patriarchy. You know, you're getting your matriarchy soon. Kamala Harris, if Joe Biden dies off. And if Kamala Harris becomes president, well, we'll see what happens. But I still believe that have been the ones who are the leaders of the world. Women play their part out by supporting the men who build this world and who nurture and take care and teach the children. That's why I think a woman's place is. Like I heard being said before, the man is the head of the household, but the woman is the heart of the household. But you can't have a household without a strong head. And you can't have a household without a strong heart. Okay? You can't have a whole functioning body without a strong head and a strong heart. I consider myself to be a very strong head, so I need a very strong heart of a woman. But they're all used to all these fuckboys and simps and manginas and grown little pussies, And I guess they can't handle a guy like me. We'll see. Maybe I'll just find myself a younger chick who I can go ahead and mold and have her follow me and I'll take the lead. Or an older woman who's more well established in life and we think very similar and we get along very well. Because I think I get along with older women than younger women. A lot of these younger girls are like, they act like they're 10 years younger than their age. They're 21, they're 11. They're 25, they're 15. If they're 30, they're 20. Which means, I can go ahead and go for a 30-year-old that acts like a 20-year-old, but I'm not going for a 25-year-old that acts like a 15-year-old. That would just be a headache for me. And I feel as though guys are the same way now. They're not acting like they're 21. They act like they're 11. And even the 30-year-olds act like they're 20-year-old. And I'm thinking, when are you guys going to grow up? Like I see like these young guys who are like 25, 30 years old and you're wearing a Pokemon shirt or a Rugrats shirt. Dungeons and Dragons and that stuff is, bad enough for me anyways. But you're wearing like a little kid's t-shirt, man, that you should have stopped wearing when you were like 10 years old. I think, come on, man. When are you going to grow up? And then I hear about what these young couples do for fun as they go to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm thing. When are you going to grow up? I stopped caring about roller coasters and rides when I was like in my early 20s. You still want to go over there? Man, I just don't feel very confident that the direction in which guys are going into nowadays is good. This is not. We need to have more real men in this world, man. It's like our society's become pussy whipped. That's why I think our society's become pussy whipped. But like what John Witherspoon and what I should have told that married guy to begin with, like I was about to get married, I should have told him, it's like John Witherspoon, what he said in this movie called Boomerang. He said, "Don't be pussy whipped. Whip that pussy. Bang, 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 bang." Hearing that, it's like, man, that wasn't funny, but that's like a good motto. That's how I'm applying with this women you have in your life, is you keep them in line and let them know who's boss. And we need to go ahead and step up as men and letting women know who's boss. That's why for every woman I'm in a relationship with, I'm going to tell her this. You are either going to build with me or you're going to support me. But you're not going to take advantage of me, you're not going to use me, and you're not going to control me. Because you know who's the boss of me? I am. You're going to work with me or you're going to follow my lead. If you can't do that, there's a door. That's what a real man does when it comes to women and how he leads his life. I'm realizing that about myself. Fuck being pussy whipped. Fuck being overly sensitive and all that other stuff. We need more real men. Okay? Because we don't have any real men in this world, our world's going to fall apart. Like I heard this one guy named Aaron Clary say before on YouTube, he said, Hard times produce great men produce good times produce weak men, and weak men produce bad times. And I'm pretty sure we're in for some bad times. But hopefully those hard times will make more real men again. And then the cycle's going to continue, and the cycle's going to continue. We'll see what happens. I can only choose to change myself, though. I encourage you guys who are feeling the same way to do that too. Don't buy into this overly feminized, soft, and sensitive society, okay? You live in it, but you don't choose to conform to it. You stand your ground and you be you. Be a real man. Don't be a pussy. Peace out, and have a good night.